Hello, this is my reflective video report for Advanced Modelling the Games Engine for the prehistoric creature creation. I ended up modelling a Parasaurolophus. The workflow used for the creation of the dinosaur was the same as many other artists and industry people use for the creation of an asset, which involves creating a low polygon object in 3ds Max or the equivalent, importing to ZBrush to add the high polygon detail. From there you'd retopologize in either 3ds Max or ZBrush, unwrap the retopology, project the high polygon detail from the high polygon to the low polygon via a normal map. From there you'd create a texture in Photoshop or any other image manipulation software, and then create any other maps you need, like ambient occlusion or specular. But I had to add an extra step since I had to animate the dinosaur. That was doing the cat animation software in 3ds Max. But then the designers and the artists and studios would then import that into UDK along with the animations and the maps and everything. The problems I faced along the way were to do with, from the beginning, where I couldn't find any decent references for the underside of the dinosaur, so I had to make that up as I went and try and make the best thing I could without having any decent references for the underside of the dinosaur, since everything was a skeletal view or concept art. The second problem was projecting the texture out of ZBrush and onto my unwrapped model or the retopology, and that was generally because I couldn't find a decent way of doing it that didn't involve using XNormal, but I ended up doing it via the projectile, which it worked a lot better than XNormal could have. The next problem involved the animation side using cat animation. It wasn't to do with the creation of the skeleton or the animating part itself, it was the skinning of the mesh which ended up being a problem. The envelopes for the bones for the dinosaur were picking up vertices that were nowhere near the right place. Like, say, there would be vertices moving around on the tail when the front foot was moving. I fixed that by selecting the vertices and removing them from being weighted, and that was really being the only problems in the creation side, and well, most things, yeah. I have found an artist, a 3D artist, that uses the same workflow as I just described earlier, and his name is Angel Trudeau, who's had 7 years industry experience, and he's created game assets for over 9 titles. Some of them include a steampunk MMO and Buck Hunter for the iPhone. I'll have the reference for this in the description and also in the forum post, but this guy goes through the same process as I just described, which is starting off with the low polygon object. He then imports into ZBrush and adds details to it. He then unwraps the low polygon, bakes the normals, which is the only different step. He bakes the normals from the high polygon to the low polygon using XNormal, whereas I used 3ds Max to do that. And then he also textures the same using Photoshop, which is the same, uses the same software as well that I was using. So yeah, it's basically the same. For the game engine commentary now, when I imported the FBX file from Maxed to UDK, I also told it to import the textures that were on it from 3ds Max, which saves some time afterwards. from there, since the model is in and the textures are in, I had to create a material using the material creator, and I combined the diffuse map, the normal map, and the specular map together and applied it to the dinosaur in the scene. From there, I gave the dinosaur animation using the a custom animation tree, and yeah, animated, placed the animations of the dinosaur, and then had to use some custom coding to get the dinosaur to move around using that animation and follow me. That was using the Unreal script. I then presented my work in UDK using the foliage map that's already with UDK, and I took the in-game screenshots by removing the HUD, removing the gun model, and going into fly mode, and you're taking screenshots that way of the dinosaur in the model, dinosaur in the game engine. To compare my work to an industry standard is kind of annoying, since it's something I created compared to these industry standard people. But yeah, the most artists that I've seen have decent edge flow around their dinosaur, along with keeping all the poly flow, like all the polygons consistent throughout the model. Mine's a bit jaggy in place, especially since the eye and with the claws and the feet, they've got a lot more detail than, say, the rest of the body, which other people managed to do quite well. From there, the texture work as well doesn't really stand up to some of the industry standards, considering say the industry, but they generally have a lot more detail than mine did, which I suppose it's my own fault. But their work, they obviously have details in there like scratches or just wear from being in, obviously we're living, so there's scratches from other dinosaurs or brushing past trees, and they've got like scratches down them, claw marks and blood, and so there's a lot more detail in the whole, the way the dinosaur, the environment around the dinosaur, it looks like it's worn and torn. And also the animations for the dinosaurs are completely different, considering I only have a few compared to the people in the industry who have 6 or 7 just for a dinosaur. You've got the walk, idle, run, roar, backpedal, death. There's lots of different animations for one dinosaur compared to mine, who only had a few. So there is a comparison to be made, but there isn't anything that I have done better than industry standard people have done. If I were to redo this and try and get to an industry standard, I'd have to concentrate mostly on ZBrush and try and get that model as in the best looking it could be in ZBrush, without trying to get the texture to show most of the detail, which I think is where I went wrong this time. And also I'd use more animation sets, so the dinosaur would be a lot more lifelike, and also, as I said before, maybe give it some like scratches, or make it look like it's at least been attacked, that just generally it lived a healthy life, but just a general life in the dangerous environment that it is. But yeah, anyway, that's my report, and thanks for listening.